Welcome back to In The Slant. Today I'm joined with Jared. I'm joined with Alex. We'll be out without Dustin today, so not a full crew today. But basically today we did our pre-rankings before the NFL draft, and now we've had the NFL draft able to marinate and sit there for a little bit. So we're going to be ranking each division 1 through 4 after the draft. So this is going to be kind of a way too early rankings going into this next season. Before we go any further, I got to ask y'all, like always, how are y'all feeling? How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you for asking. I think it's the first time one of you guys asked me how I'm doing.
Damn.
So.
You're right. I'm feeling
Jared,
good.
shout out to you. You're feeling good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
I love to hear it. So, yeah, Dustin won't be here, so it'll just be us three today, of course. But one thing I do want to talk about and get this out of the way is the whole Andrew Luck Commanders thing. It's definitely an interesting situation. Jim Irsay, as we know, is an outspoken owner. He tweeted like last week or so and said, if anybody contacted Andrew Luck, there's a clear violation of tampering. So he is trying to get the league to investigate this whole thing with the Commanders. This could lead to some draft picks taken away if this were found true. But Andrew Luck's camp has come out and denied that Washington ever contacted him, which is good because obviously I would hate to lose draft picks over trying to reach out to a guy who's retired, who never probably would have came and played for your team. Because there was a report, or I actually think this is true, that last year Washington basically called every single team about their quarterback situation. Reportedly, even the Chiefs. I don't know if they asked about Mahomes because obviously that would be a stupid conversation. Regardless, though, I really hope there's nothing found here with the whole Andrew Luck thing because, like I mentioned, it'd been really stupid. I just want to get that out of the way. Jim Irsay, I like you and all, but you're pretty fun. It's a crazy owner. That's all I gotta say. Even though you're not watching this, obviously. But let's talk about our rankings for each division.
Can we bring up one other thing?
Go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes getting a new contract.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Before week
That's
one.
good.
What do you guys think?
But that's coming from Mike Florio, and I don't know if I like his.
Well, they're gonna read.
But did you see that from Dov on Twitter?
I'm not sure exactly what I've seen. I've seen it from a couple people, actually.
Dov?
But I honestly truly believe it because Patrick
nervous.
Mahomes is like, I think the 7th highest paid quarterback right now.
I believe it too, but I mean,
He definitely should get a
Mike
raise.
Florio is someone that I don't really trust as a source because he also said that Washington was going to go get Lamar basically or something like that. Or he was saying, I know he said it wasn't like guaranteed, but he was like saying, I could see Dan Snyder booing blah, blah, blah. And obviously that never came true.
Well, from some of these reporters, this is one report that I can actually take.
I can definitely believe it too because, I mean, Mahomes obviously, since he's gotten that 10-year contract, has proven that he was worth it, obviously. So would make sense for them to do that. Mahomes, obviously, literally the best quarterback in the league. I don't know if anybody can debate that. So.
Yeah. Bump
I
his
mean,
pay
Dustin
a little
would be
bit.
there. He definitely said Derek Carr.
Dustin would say Derek Carr is better
Carr's the
if he
best
had
in the league.
Kelsey or something like that.
Oh God.
All right, which division? You guys wanted to start at the top like we did last week?
Just wherever.
All right, so I'll start in the AFC. We're going to start with the AFC East. So this is our way too early. We're not going to be revisioning this until maybe before the season starts. So make sure you are feeling good about these rankings. Like
This division is hard.
Obviously things can change though.
Yeah.
Because like there still could be a few trades here and there, some roster cuts. Like you expect some things to change, but for the most part, everything is taken care of for the most part. So before the draft, I actually somehow in my notes, I never deleted my rankings before the draft, so I still have them actually. So before the draft, I said Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets. But this is before the Aaron Rodgers trades. That's why I had the Jets number 4. After my draft, or not after my draft, but after the draft, mine has changed a little bit. Quite a bit, actually. This division has changed for me. I have the Patriots at 4.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Dolphins at 3. I have the Bills 2, and the Jets 1.
Golly.
No, I was gonna put the Bills 1, but you know their struggles in the playoffs for me.
Exactly. That's how I feel about it
Yeah,
too.
so I'm gonna go. I have damn near the same list as Brady then.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally.
What about you?
Oh gosh, it's really hard for me to really decide who I'm gonna put at 1. But honestly, I'm still gonna put the Bills at 1. Right now, I'm sure Aaron Rodgers is gonna go out there and do what he does, but it's hard for me to say if he's going to play at that same level he did 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm going to go Bills 1, Jets 2, Dolphins 3, Patriots 4.
And I'm sure we can all agree that we have Dolphins at 3 just because the health of Tua sometimes can be skeptical. Obviously, if 2 of them are healthy, I think I could put them at 2. It's just a stretch.
Yeah.
But for now.
And it's kind of crazy for me because honestly I could see the Dolphins somehow winning the division.
I could too. I was about to say that.
Tua can play at that high level. The health is definitely the problem. The defense is definitely there, and they have the weapons. So this division is honestly probably one of the hardest for me to rank.
I agree.
Truthfully.
And
I
I think
definitely agree with that.
Like I said, the Jets at 1 is good for me, in my opinion, because they went out and did all this. You know, it's time for them to go
Paper
out in this
champions.
division. Yeah.
This offseason was perfect for them.
Which it would be awesome.
And this
to see
paper
the
better
Jets
translate,
be on
in my
top.
should translate to the field.
Because
Yeah.
when is the last time the Jets won the division? Like 2011, 2010?
yeah, it's got to have been a
With Mark
long time.
Sanchez?
The last time I remember them even being good was with Fitzpatrick and Brandon Marshall, and they still
Yeah.
didn't make the playoffs at 10 and
Mm.
6. Yeah, they
that's a
missed
crazy
it. They
thing to
barely
remember.
missed it. 10 and
Wow.
6. I remember they went 10 and
Wow.
6 and missed the playoffs
That's crazy.
because of how crazy stacked the AFC was that year.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's getting even more stacked now.
Yeah, it's
So-
even worse now. I don't even know how. I don't even remember what it was back then, but yeah, I remember them going 10 and 6 and missing the playoffs. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty like
That was about
99.9% sure.
2014 maybe?
Something along the lines of that. Because I
2014,
remember,
about around, yeah.
is that the same year Fitzpatrick threw like 6 interceptions against the Chiefs?
I
don't know.
It's crazy.
You don't remember that?
Dude, that's when I
Almost 10
that's when I
years.
really first started watching football.
Dude, I remember Fitzpatrick had that game, but I don't want to go too far away from what we're actually trying to talk about. I could see the Patriots even surprising us a little bit. I'm
Me
not going
too.
to totally say they suck. Like they're
Yeah.
not doing anything. Like Bill
I'm not
Belichick.
counting the Patriots out.
Yeah, Bill
ever.
Belichick is always a great head coach, as we know. Always seems to get his teams playing well.
I don't know if I'd say I count them out, but I definitely don't have any high hopes for them just because their situation that quarterback, it sounds like they don't even have faith in him. I say this all the time, but
Yeah.
you know, they could prove us wrong and, you know, maybe come out second or first. Who knows?
Be good for them.
If Tua stays healthy, Dolphins can, like we mentioned earlier, they could be sneaky good, which they're going to be good. I just don't know if they're
Yeah.
going to be good enough to win the division. I can see a world where the Jets are disappointing because everyone just has so high hopes for them after acquiring Aaron Rodgers and
Mhm.
everything they've done this offseason. But we'll see. I think that's
That's why you said super early, though. Also,
it's super early.
you said Bill Belichick. He could, like I said, surprise us with
yeah.
the Patriots, and who knows, they could come out just swinging and be the best team in that division. So
Correct.
I
Especially
think it's up for grabs.
Yeah,
honestly.
especially since they don't have a defensive coordinator as our offensive coordinator anymore, which literally
Yeah, that
never
sounds
made
awful.
any sense. So
Yeah.
that's AFC East though, unless you guys have any other thoughts about
No.
them.
No.
AFC West.
Yeah.
This one, mine literally didn't change too much. Chiefs, I think, locked in at 1. There's
Yeah.
really no way you can go against that. Dustin may have something about that. I remember when we were doing this last year, he was heavily
What
against
about
it.
3?
Yeah, he had Chiefs
Oh,
at
dude.
3. I was
And they
like,
ended up winning the Super Bowl.
I'm like,
That
Crazy.
is, yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah.
Honestly, watching
Chargers 2 for me. They made the playoffs representing the AFC West, and I still think the Chargers are good. I definitely don't love that they didn't fire Brendan Staley because his clock management is horrible. His timeout.
Terrible. Run the fucking ball.
Yeah,
dude.
like
oh my god.
Staley just is weird sometimes. Raiders are before the draft, I had the Raiders at 3 and then the Broncos at 4, but I guess I changed it to Broncos 3, Raiders 4. I don't even know if I have a particular reason behind that. The only reason I do believe in this for the most part is I think the Broncos have done everything in their power to give Russell Wilson help, which is why I'm basically doing that.
I'm gonna back Brady on that. I definitely have Broncos at 3 now, Raiders at 4, Chiefs obviously at 1. I potentially think the Chiefs can go back to back this next upcoming season, and then Chargers at 2. The biggest question is the coach, Justin Herbert. It seems like a lot of things on social media. Justin Herbert still being counted out as one of the top tier quarterbacks. Kind of crazy to me, but I definitely am right there on the same boat with Brady.
I am too as well. I got Chiefs 1, Chargers 2, Broncos 3, Raiders 4. My only question is for the Chargers is what are they gonna do with Eckler? I know they had a whole ordeal going on where he wasn't happy with, I think, a contract, and is he even going to be playing with
That
them?
still hasn't been solved yet.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying.
Who was the receiver the Broncos just picked up? I can't remember.
In the draft,
I know the Chargers just picked up one.
they drafted one too. Bro, I can't remember who it was.
Was it Mims?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was. I think it was Marvin
Great
Mims.
addition, and then
Let
Chargers
me-
picked up Quentin Johnson
In the first round, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
Chargers
what I
drafted
thought.
a wide receiver.
Yep.
I want to double check that.
And I heard
I think it was
rumors-
Marvin Mims.
I'm pretty sure it's Marvin Mims as well. Broncos get another wide receiver.
Elway was
Marvin Mims.
Marvin Mims. Okay.
Broncos.
Great addition. Did great things at Oklahoma, and they weren't even because usually Oklahoma is like the top tier Big 12 team. Last year they weren't really. They were kind of in the mix. I don't pay attention too much, but I know they were not like the same Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley there. So, but he is a great addition to the team. Someone for Russell Wilson to throw the ball to.
And I can't remember if I had Raiders at 3, but if I did, I changed them with the same reason Brady had Broncos at 3 now because they doing everything they can to try to make this a winning football team.
Correct.
So
with Russell Wilson.
Correct.
We just don't know what Jimmy G is going to look like with the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, we don't even know what Russell Wilson will look like this year.
And
so
another
I don't
thing to
know.
point out real quick, I don't know if you guys seen on Twitter, apparently all the Detroit players have been hinting at Keenan Allen that they want him to go there.
Really?
Yeah, because they haven't been figuring
Wow.
another contract situation, I think it was. I had seen, I don't know, this could be false,
That'd be a good
but
addition,
I
man.
could see a world where, like I said, when the Chargers drafted Quentin Johnson in round 1, I mean, same thing for the Broncos. Jerry Jeudy Sutton both have health issues. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen both have health issues, and both of them are getting paid a bag. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and then I think Jeudy still on his rookie deal, and then Cortland Sutton, I don't even know at this point. I'm pretty sure he's not anymore, but I don't know what his extension looks like at this point. But yeah, for me, I could see a world where Keenan Allen could not be with the Chargers. I don't know
and
if
who knows
it'd be
even, who knows even to Detroit, but just in the Chargers in general.
Yeah, eventually something will happen there because they're paying too much money for those 2 wide receivers not to be available. So I could see a world where Keenan Allen is on a different team. He's been there forever, so I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah.
But I love, like I said, I love what the Broncos have done. They've done everything they can. They went out, got Sean Payton as their head coach, who's an offensive mind. So they're doing everything they can. They signed a bunch of offensive line depth, got help on the offensive line, drafted another wide receiver. So they're doing everything in their power. I would not be surprised if the Raiders surprised us or the Broncos. Like, this division is still for the taking. It was supposed to be one of the best divisions in football last year. It was really disappointing. Maybe we get it this year.
I don't know. I know to never bet against the Chiefs, so.
Yeah, no, that is something I will never doubt. Even you and I even said last year, like,
Yeah.
even though they lost Tyreek Hill, I was still not betting against the
Me
way Mahomes
either.
plays. Like,
Me either.
I know you weren't on the show at that time, but I'm
Yep.
pretty. You were
I
in
was
agreement.
texting,
Yeah, you
I
were
was like-
texting.
Like, what the fuck, Dustin? What are you thinking?
Let's move on to the AFC South, though. For me, this division is kind of open as well. I
Yeah,
mean,
I flipped
Yeah.
some teams around.
I
after the
mean,
draft.
you could base it off the Jaguars obviously being the favorite because they just got it last
Mhm.
year, and then they're going to be adding Calvin Ridley to this offense. So, with that being said, before the draft, I had Jaguars, Texans, Titans, and Colts. Mine has changed a little bit. I'm going with the Jaguars at 1 still. Going to keep that the same. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence is adding Calvin Ridley to this offense, so that's going to be a dynamic duo with him and Kirk. Number 2, I kept the Texans at 2 because they got their quarterback in C.J. Stroud, and they got Will Anderson. And for me, the Texans have no incentive to be bad whatsoever because they traded their first-round pick in next year's draft. So there's no reason for them to. I don't know if they were tanking on purpose necessarily because that usually doesn't happen in the football or in the NFL like crazy like it does in the NBA. But if you go out there and trade your first-round pick, you have no incentive to suck. So I could see the Texans, if Stroud pops off right away, being really surprising in this division. And I don't know if I really can believe in the Titans and the Colts at this point. And I love what the Texans have done this offseason. So I have Texans 2, Titans 3, Colts at 4.
Colts
or
at
no,
4.
sorry, I
I
had
was about to
Colts
say
at
that's
3.
crazy.
I had
That's
Colts at 3,
crazy.
sorry.
Okay.
Titans
You have
4.
Titans at 4?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because the uncertainty, I can't say the word, but you get what I'm
Ryan
saying.
Tannehill?
Yeah, with Ryan Tannehill.
Listen, I got
Okay.
Jaguars 1, I got Jaguars 1, Colts 2. I like Anthony Richardson for them a lot. I think that's like a perfect fit. And then Texans 3. Obviously Titans 4.
Dang, you guys throwing curveballs at me right now. Okay, I could definitely got Jags at 1, Texans at 2. In all honesty, I think the Titans are at 3 and Colts are at 4. I mean, Anthony Richardson is a freak, but I got to see it first before I believe it.
Right.
That's just me not doubting his ability. Obviously, he's in the NFL for a reason. But I just right now I got the Colts at 4, man.
I'm gonna put the Colts at 2 because I'm gonna just follow the hype between the combine behind Anthony Richardson. The athleticism in him is crazy. So there's just I don't know.
I like how we're all kind of
Different.
flip floppy with it.
I think
So,
this division is wide open
Very
after
wide
the
open, for
Jaguars.
sure.
Even the Jaguars could technically fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I won't count out from the Titans is their head coach, Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Obviously, a really good head coach. So I would not be surprised if the Titans make me eat my words here and they go on to play really good football. They started out pretty hot last year, then fell off
Yeah.
very, very badly. So
yeah.
I don't know. I just don't believe in Ryan Tannehill, and I don't know how much they're going to get Will Levis in there this year, if he'll play at all, or if they're going to be forced to play him right away, or not right away necessarily. But I don't know what the future is in Tennessee.
And you
other
can't
than
really
Greg.
blame us. We're kind of just looking off what their team's built like right now.
Exactly.
But-
And it surprised me a little bit because I don't hate on the Colts a lot, but I just didn't believe in their team as much. But now they went and got a quarterback, so that's why I have them at 2.
To add on to that real quick, I just feel like you said, the coaching in Tennessee, Plus, Derrick Henry's going to be getting the ball a lot, with backing up with that pretty solid defense. So I still believe the Titans will maybe be 500 for sure.
Yeah,
didn't they just draft an O-lineman too?
Yeah.
First round?
Yeah.
You know?
Titans? I honestly can't remember who they drafted.
I could have swore it was.
I try to agree with you like I knew what I was talking about, but I don't.
Right, I think you are right, Jared.
I think you might be right, but I literally
to help out Derrick Henry a little bit. You know what I mean?
I mean, they definitely needed to. They cut like Terry Lewan and stuff. So
I'm excited for this next one.
AFC North time.
Yeah, I am. I very much am. But
Who should
Jared,
go
you can
first?
take the. You want me to go first?
No, I'll go first. I'll go first.
All right.
Mine hasn't changed, so go
Listen,
ahead.
mine might have changed. I really don't remember what I picked last time, but I know I had the Steelers at 4, Browns at 3. Now, you guys might say I'm biased, but I'm looking at this as a healthy Ravens team going forward, dude. If we stay healthy, we can definitely take that number 1 spot. Like I said, we almost beat the Bengals with Tyler Huntley.
Exactly.
Okay?
That is true.
So if
I'll give you that.
So I'm going to go ahead and get the Bengals at 2.
Exactly.
You know, you guys can say whatever you want. I don't care. And I'm putting Baltimore at number 1 here.
If
Because
Dustin,
we are going
I
out.
wish Dustin was here. You guys would start an argument right
That's
here.
fine.
He's like, no, what the fuck are you talking
Listen,
about?
we have done so much this offseason that I got to salute our GM for. We went and fired our offensive coordinator, got a new one in. We extended Lamar. We brought in 2 new wide receivers. We got a new we fired our strength and conditioning coach. There's a lot of behind the scenes firing and hires that we needed to happen. And like I said, we've just been doing a lot. And I think, if we stay healthy, we can definitely take that number 1 spot.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and take the floor.
Go ahead.
Nothing has changed for me. When we first did this, before that, I think they even acquired they might have had Odell at the time.
I can't remember. If they
I had the Ravens at 1 for the simple fact, because I did say on last podcast, Jared just said it again, they almost beat the Bengals with Tyler Huntley in the playoffs. That is my reasoning. The Ravens are going to win the division. Lamar's going to stay healthy. Odell's going to have a great year. Rashawn Bateman's going to stay healthy. Zay Flowers is a great addition. Defense is very solid. The Ravens are going to win the division. Bengals are going to be at 2. Cleveland is going to be at 3. I feel like Deshaun Watson has been staying very low-key, sticking to himself, working on his craft. I think he's actually going to impress a lot of people this year. And I'm not saying the Steelers are shit, because I don't think they are shitty at all. But this division is just way too high-powered. Too many weapons. Kenny Pickett, I'm not saying he's a terrible player, but these other 3 quarterbacks, I think, have a one-up on him for sure.
So before, actually, like I said, I won't even say my before draft because this is literally the same. I haven't changed it. So I actually have the Browns at 4. Steelers and Browns are actually interchangeable for me. I just feel like Mike Tomlin always finds a way to get the best out of his team. Somehow, some way, the man has never went under 500. So shout out to Mike Tomlin for that. The Cleveland Browns, I would not be surprised if Deshaun Watson looked like his old self, but the product we got last year was absolutely just disappointing. And I'm not as hard on him as Dusto is, because Dustin is just like ready to give up on Watson already. I think that's unfair. Give him a full time this year where he's not worried. Yeah, full off season where he's not worried about the massage stuff and all that going on. No distractions. No excuse for Watson this year. They got Elijah Moore. Amari Cooper. I think they even drafted wide receiver if I remember correctly, but I could be totally wrong on.
People Jones.
Yeah, you got People Jones as well. Steelers and Browns, like I mentioned, is interchangeable for me. So I mean, whichever one you want, that's fine. I got Browns at 4, Steelers 3. Ravens, I actually have it.
2.
I have Ravens at 2. I know that what the playoffs were, and Tyler Huntley almost beating the Bengals, but I still believe in Joe Burrow just a little too much, and he has gone on to show he's probably maybe the second best quarterback
for sure.
to Mahomes, maybe.
Yeah.
Arguably.
Yeah.
I mean, they started off really slow last year, but
did.
then once they got started and going, there was like literally no stopping them. Yeah, they were just amazing. So
I'm pretty sure.
I would assume that Burrow can do that same thing. Maybe this time they get off to a better start, and the Bengals will be winning this division again. That's just my opinion, but I would not be surprised if Baltimore won it. Or I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Cleveland won it, if Deshaun Watson looked like Texas. Hey, Deshaun Watson was amazing.
Honestly, I agree with that, Brady.
I mean, it's not crazy out of a possibility. And then maybe
Kenny getting past the 2 top
Kenny
dogs,
Pickett
man.
takes a big jump.
He ain't taking no
What
big
if Kenny
jump.
Pickett takes a big jump?
You're just trying to get back at the fans that were after you in the comments.
We were all thrashed for that.
Dude, they were go fuck. Basically telling us to go fucking jump off a cliff.
Yeah,
So,
basically.
Golly.
But I think this division, once again, we said this last year was one of the better divisions in football, and that could be that way this again this year. So
I think it makes up for the lack of hype in the AFC West.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely, because we all thought that was going to be a crazy division, and they just
Yeah.
so.
We could see that with the AFC North this year. Anything is possible. This is why it's a prediction that never ends up being true, or it may come true.
No,
You
this
never
one
know.
will be true. Me and Alex's will be true
All right.
for the AFC North at least.
Okay. Anything else to say about the AFC North before we go?
Getting a Lamar jersey soon. Thanks for signing that extension.
Yeah. I would feel good about getting one now, too, so not a bad idea. NFC East time. Alex and I represent the division, of course, being Commanders and Giants fans here.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Jared, you want to go
got-
first, though?
I'll let you guys go.
All right.
Hmm.
I don't think mine has changed too much. I got Eagles 1, Cowboys 2, Giants 3, Commanders 4. You're going to see a trend with these NFC quarterbacks, a few of them, where I have the team with the unknown quarterback at the bottom just because you don't know what you're getting. So even I feel like my Commanders could surprise this year, depending on how good Sam Howell is. It's really going to rely on him. I know I'm confident in everything else that we have. The offensive line was upgraded a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be perfect, but it should be better than it was last year. Linebackers is still pretty bad, but I guess we'll make it work with Barton and Davis. Secondary is looking absolutely amazing, so I'm excited about that as long as Emmanuel Forbes can pop off right away. And D-line, of course, is still really good, at least for this year, unless if somehow we end up trading Chase Young, which I don't see happening. But yeah, I got Commanders 4. Giants at number 3. Would not be surprised if the Giants went out there and got 2 somehow, but Cowboys 2. And then the Eagles, once again, just had an amazing draft. They acquired DeAndre Swift. Got probably one of the best young defensive D-tackle duo in football now with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. The Georgia Bulldogs from Nakobe Dean. And then one last linebacker they got at the very end. I can't remember his name at the top of my head. You guys know what I'm talking about?
The Bama quarterback
No, linebacker.
or linebacker. I'm
Georgia
sorry.
linebacker at the very end.
With Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith. That's
Oh,
who it
okay.
was.
Okay.
Exactly.
I
That's
don't
what
know why
I
I
was
said
talking
quarterback.
Yeah, sorry.
You said the very end, so I was
I'm
thinking
just
like,
thinking about all the
last.
quarterback scenarios in NFC
Yeah.
East right now.
Yeah, no. For
Oh,
me,
bro.
Eagles
Yeah,
had a
Nolan
home
Smith.
run of a draft.
Yeah.
I know they lost a lot this offseason, but if their young guys can step up, they'll be fine. So
Gosh,
that's how I
yeah.
have it.
Man.
Alex.
All right. Well, I still got the Eagles at 1 for sure. Just too many players, too many acquisitions. It's stacked. First, it was kind of questionable with all the people they let go from the defense, but now I'm definitely keeping the Eagles at 1. Shout out to Cannon. Giants are going to be number 2. If you compared, I have various reasons for it. Obviously, the Cowboys are still loaded up, but this is my reasoning. Daniel Jones has went night and day from the 2021 season to the 2022 season. If you compare stats to like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, he threw the ball like 50 to 100 times less and only had 1,000 yards less than them as well. So give him the same opportunity that he had with maybe potentially more weapons, which he does have now. Plus our O-line's looking a lot better. Deontay Banks, still got Kayvon Thibodeau, got Bobby Okere. I don't know how to say his last name.
I think that's how you
Okereke.
say it.
So I'm just very confident in my team right now, and I'm a realist. Even when we're back in 2021, I'm like, we're terrible. Like, I knew we were just god-awful football team. So that's my reason for the Giants being 2. Obviously, I would not be surprised if we are 3, but I got the Cowboys at 3, Commanders at 4, just because the question mark with the quarterback. Put a scenario where they have a solid quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders potentially were 2 or 1. But
yeah.
that's my prediction. Locking it in. Let's go, Daniel fucking Jones.
Like they had mentioned before, the Eagles, before the draft, were looking a little rough before they started signing and adding these players to the team. So I probably had them at 2. But now that they just revamped and they're back on their run, I got them back at number 1. Cowboys going 2. I like what they've done so far. Now, I do have the Giants at 3 because they won the playoffs. They went to the playoffs last year. That's my only stretch because, in my opinion, they could be interchangeable.
That's
I do
right,
like the
baby.
Redskins or the Commanders a lot.
Yeah.
I like the wide receiver core. I like the offense. The only question to me is Sam Howell. Just have to see how he does. I know Brady has a little bit of faith in him, right?
I mean, I have to, right?
Yeah.
Just like I convinced myself to believe in Carson Wentz last year. So
Yeah. So
if I can do that, I can believe in Sam Howell.
if Brady believes in him, then there got to be some hope. So, I have the Giants at 3, and then, of course, Commanders at 4. I do want to put them higher, but like I said, the Giants made the playoffs last year, so.
Would
I gotta give
anybody
that to
be
'em.
surprised if like the Cowboys fell off this year or something?
Maybe not fell out, but I could see them going first-round exit. if they did
I
it
just-
again.
That's every year though. No, I'm just kidding.
last year finally, but they played a $500 team or whatever they
Yeah.
were. Like it, obviously, they should have definitely won that playoff game, which they did. And me being who I am, I was like, oh, the Bucks are gonna win. Fuck the Cowboys. But they did win. Dak came out striking, looking like the Dak that everyone always wants Dak to be. But this is my thing with the Cowboys. We've discussed this multiple times. I did say the last pretty sure prediction. I maybe the Cowboys in a crazy scenario that make it to the Super Bowl. But my question mark is Dak Prescott.
God help us all if that ever happens.
Gosh, dude, we wouldn't hear the end of it from so many people.
Especially you guys.
Dude, that's like my worst fear every year we get into the playoffs. The
Oh,
Cowboys are in there. I'm like,
dude.
bro, please have this team lose in round 1.
But like, is the Super Bowl window closing more and more by the day?
Oh,
Yes,
for sure
For
it
sure.
is.
Tell me, you really think Dak Prescott is going to go out there and play like 2015, 2016? I mean, 2021, he had a very good season. But it's just when it's crunch time, it just seems like Dak just does what Dak does. And I've heard multiple Cowboys fans say that. So that's not just me saying that from a Giants perspective. Dak Prescott will do what Dak Prescott does. Great stats, great guy. It's just when it's crunch time, he just doesn't seem to get it done.
The
So-
inconsistency show with Dak Prescott. And obviously, as a Commanders fan, we haven't had a quarterback as good as him for a while, so it's not like I'm sitting here saying like I wouldn't like Dak on my team. He has definitely paid pretty nicely, but I mean, he played great, like I said, in the Bucs game, and then in the 49ers game, it was just kind of like a 9-day difference. Had a couple turnovers at pivotal points in that game, if I remember
Correct.
correctly. So
That
it was
last
a while ago.
regular season game against the Commanders.
Oh, he looked atrocious
God,
against
bro.
us. I mean, I know our defense is solid, but I mean, again, I'll go back to it. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback almost throw a pick six and then throw that same exact route the very next play and
Comeback
get
route.
pick six this time. That was the most absurd thing I've ever seen. But again, Dak at times is good and other times he's not. So it just depends. I love that they added Brandon Cooks and Gilmore. If it doesn't pan out this year, I could see some interesting changes for Dallas next year, though.
Same.
For sure.
Starting with what, quarterback?
Yeah, potentially. I could see it. I wouldn't rule it out. And if anything, if history repeats itself, the Eagles will not be winning the division this year. It'll be somebody else because there's never a repeating winner in this division, it seems like.
Sounds like it'll be the Giants then.
Maybe it'll be Commanders. Maybe it'll be Cowboys. Maybe it'll be Giants.
What about the Giants?
Or the Eagles break the curse.
What about the
Giants have not
Giants?
won the NFC East since 2011.
Woo!
Really?
Yep.
They didn't win it that one year when they made it against the Packers?
Nope. They were second. They won 11-5 because that was a 16-game schedule. And we went 1-1 with the Cowboys, but the Cowboys beat the Eagles twice. So that's why we didn't win it. Yep.
You ready to move on next division? NFC
Yeah.
North?
This one to me is the
This one's
toughest
tough,
one.
in
Yeah.
my
This
opinion.
one's really hard. This and AFC East, in my opinion, are going to be the hardest. I mean, the AFC North is definitely kind of hard for me, but this division is like, it's such a wild card right now.
It really is.
It is.
We got Vikings at 4, right?
No. Okay, so before the
Ricardo's-
draft, I was all in on the Lions hype. I said Lions 1. I had Vikings
Me
2,
too.
Packers 3, Bears 4. And this is when Aaron Rodgers was still on this team. So it's changing now.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to have Packers at 4. Just like I've been like consistent with this. I don't know what Jordan Love's going to look like as a full-time starter. Same thing with Sam Howell. It's kind of a same situation where the roster is actually really talented. We just don't know what's going to happen at the quarterback spot, which is why I have the Packers at 4. And another thing, I keep on saying they still have Joe Barry as a defensive coordinator, which I don't like at all. And then I actually have the Bears 3. I have the Lions 2, Vikings 1. I'm going back to just believing what the Vikings did. I think Kevin O'Connell is a good enough head coach to get them to win it again this year. Kirk Cousins is great in the regular season. He'll put up good numbers. As long as they're not in too many primetime games, they should be fine in the regular season. And they added Jordan Addison in the draft, the Adam Thielen replacement. Vikings may not go into next season with Dalvin Cook. I don't know. There's been some talks about that. But I'm just going to
Addison
go with the
is
safe bet here.
Yeah.
With
Listen.
Vikings going back and winning it again.
I 100% agree with you, Brady. I did have Lions at 1. I was a big believer of it. Their draft, I mean, it was a pretty good draft.
Another thing, sorry to cut you off
Go
for a
ahead.
second. The Lions draft I thought was a little weird, which is why another reason why I kind of changed my ranking on that.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I agree, but I'm going back to Kirk. Kirk's gonna play at a high level. Jordan Addison, great addition. Defense, they have their struggles. Head coach is going to do what he does. He's a great head coach. So I'm just going to lock it in. There's really not much explanation to it because Brady kind of already hit all the points. So I got Vikings at 1, Detroit at 2, Bears at 3, and Packers at 4 just because we don't know what Jordan Love's going to do. Simple as that.
So I can agree with them on 4, Packers being 4. But I don't know. Brady said they might not have Dalvin Cook next year. Who knows? Kirk Cousins, I don't believe in at all. He played like shit in the playoffs.
Well, this is regular season. If we're talking playoffs,
well, I'm going deep down, and if this team can win a division and do all this and do all that, I had the Vikings at
Kirk
3.
has always been a good regular season player.
I don't give a damn. I don't believe in Kirk. So
All right,
I have
Kirk.
them at 3. I'm
Throw
sorry,
a check
Vikings
down on
fans.
4th and
As
8.
much as I want to believe in you guys, and plus that defense, the corner spot is looking, to me, a little rough. So I have you guys at 3. Get a new quarterback, please.
Vikings at 3 then.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vikings at 3.
It's a hot take.
Now, listen. Chicago and Lions could be either one for me.
Wow.
The Bears, they have so much cap. They have like $35 million cap left, too, and they went out this season and spent money. I'm going to go ahead and put Chicago at 2 and Lions at 1.
Okay.
Lions,
Yeah.
I've been on your hype train for this year, last year, and I'm going to keep riding it because you guys about to go crazy this year. Yes, the draft was.
Money doesn't always translate to wins, though,
No,
right?
it better. You don't go out and get these
Jamal
players and bring them on
Gibbs,
the
I
team.
mean-
You don't go and get these damn players and put them on a team for them not to fit
I
and
do
not to
think
perform.
Jamar Gibbs is going to be a good slasher for him.
And Ooh,
Yeah,
not
his
to cut you
running
off.
style is a little more in control. I feel like he's just a little more. Like if he needs to get out of bounds, he's gonna get out of bounds. DeAndre Swift's the type to just put his head down and see what happens.
Well,
And
see, that's the
Lions
thing.
made
None
it
of us,
last, too.
I don't think any of us knew that DeAndre Swift was getting traded or leaving, whatever.
Well,
It
once
was
they traded
drafted.
Jamar,
signs when Jamar Gibbs got traded or
Well, I think
drafted.
drafted,
there.
yeah.
I don't know because everybody was saying, "Oh, why'd they get him when they have Swift?" Not knowing Swift was gone.
yeah. Well, and then another thing I want to paint out is we've seen in the past, and I've said this before, that I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields has some kind of breakout year because we've seen when the Cardinals gave Kyler Murray DeAndre Hopkins. We've seen when the Bills gave Stephon Diggs Josh Allen. We've seen their levels just get, and then the Bengals getting Joe Burrow. The quarterbacks are just night and day. They really elevate themselves. I could see a really big progression from Justin Fields this year. Will that lead them to winning the division? I'm not sure. I think DJ Moore is that kind of guy where him and Justin Fields could have
This
a really
click,
good, really good duo there, and that could really elevate the Bears this year. Their offense could be super dynamic.
And
of
he
course,
was killing these teams with his
yeah,
feet too.
Justin Fields was,
Yeah.
of course, killing people, or not people, but killing teams with his feet. And, yeah, I mean, if he can repeat that while being able to throw this ball to DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Darnell Mooney, who was disappointing last year, but maybe he can be a little bit better this year.
Claypool too, right?
Claypool as well, who they trade. Still don't understand why they traded basically a first-round pick for Claypool. Regardless, though,
The Bears could potentially be number one.
I can see the
That's all
Bears
I say.
surprising people. The
They could-
Lions, once they're drafted and go as I would have wanted it to, it kind of changed my mind on them a little bit. I would have loved to have seen an all-defense draft for them just because I love what they already had on offense. But they got a new tight end, which they did need. Running back, I guess I can understand, but they did sign David Montgomery, so we'll see what they do with Gibbs and Montgomery. Although they do love to run 2 running backs, as we saw with Williams and Swift last year when he was available, and sometimes they'd even run the other guy, which I can't
Correct.
remember his
Mhm.
name honestly at the top of my head. But that's the NFC North,
Well, just know the Bears are coming in hot. So are the Lions.
and then Jordan Love could be really good as well. So Packers could technically win this division
Vikings
as
at
well.
1 though, guys, huh?
For me, yes. I'm just gonna go. I think that's the safe pick, and that's what I'm gonna stick
I have
with.
him at 1 for sure.
NFC South, another division that I think is technically kind of wide open. Like this division is wide open in my opinion. Like anyone can win this division. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's no reason. I mean, we know how bad it was last year. Tom Brady is gone. It would tell you that the Bucks have probably the best team on paper, but then when you look at that quarterback position, it makes me really doubt things
Baker?
there.
You don't
Go
trust Baker?
I don't trust him.
Me either.
I've tried
I
to give
don't.
Baker opportunities. I liked him when he went to Carolina. I thought he was going to be really good there. That did not work out. Cleveland, he had opportunities. He looked good 1 year, a couple years there, and then obviously that ended. So, yeah, for me, before the draft, I had the Panthers at 4. This is before they got Bryce Young, of course. Falcons at 3, Bucks 2, and Saints at 1. After my draft, I keep saying my draft, like I drafted these teams. After this draft, I still have the Saints 1. I'm keeping it consistent with the most trusted quarterback in this division right now with Derek Carr, and I like what the Saints have on both sides of the ball with Lattimore, Tyrann Mathieu, on defense, Cameron Jordan. So there's a lot of good things to like for the Saints with Chris Olave, not to mention
Travis Landry.
Number 2, this might be surprising to some. I have the Falcons at 2 because Arthur Smith somehow was winning games with what he was doing last year. And this man knows what he loves to do. He went out there and drafted apparently the best generational running back we have seen in quite some time. If we know anything about Arthur Smith, he is going to use Bijan Robinson like crazy. And maybe, just maybe, this team can surprise us again. We assume Ritter will take another jump. He has Drake London and Kyle Pitts there as well. For some reason, I think the Falcons will win games when no one expects them to, just kind of like last year. So I have them at 2. I have Panthers at 3. I have Bucks 4 because I don't like Baker Mayfield at all as a quarterback.
I'm going to go ahead and go. I got Saints 1, Panthers 2. I like they picked up a quarterback. I like who they added, Hayden Hurst. They got Miles Sanders, Adam Thielen. Nice little core for them. Falcons 3 and Tampa 4. And the Saints actually do not have Jarvis Landry.
They don't?
No, he's a free agent.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody.
He signed a
yet.
1-year deal last year. I think that's what it
I didn't
was.
realize that.
I'm
He
still
was
a
never
little-
healthy anyway. It felt like for him.
No.
Well, he had like his week 1. He went off. I think I remember fantasy.
Yeah, I had him on bench.
Damn.
Fuck. Okay, this division's pretty hard with the Panthers and Falcons being so interchangeable for me, but Bucks are definitely at my 4. I don't trust Baker Mayfield. As good as of a run he had with Cleveland for a while, I just do not trust him right now. At my 3 spot, I'm going to go ahead and go Carolina. Just because I know Bryce Young's a first-round pick. He was first pick, first round. Very high hopes for him. I knew for sure he was going to go first pick. But right now, Miles Sanders, Hayden Hurst, and Adam Thielen are not enough for me to think he's going to be second in division. Falcons at 2. Surprisingly, they did pretty decent with that last little stretch. They're going to run the ball. Let's see what Desmond Ridder can do. And Saints definitely at 1. No doubt in my mind, Saints are at 1. But we will see what happens.
I feel really bad about having the Bucks this low too, because honestly, that roster around what they have
Their
is
defense,
nasty.
Put him at 1.
But they were disappointing last year. Like
Put 'em
really
at 1.
disappointing.
Put him
I
at 1
can't.
then.
I can't, man.
At 1.
I don't even know
Trust
if I
Baker
believe.
Mayfield
Like
and put
I
him
don't
at
even
1.
know. I don't know if I even believe in the Saints very much as well. Just because,
Yeah, I was gonna put Panthers at 1, but
see,
Do
like
you guys think this division is going to be the worst division in football?
I don't think so, because I feel like I don't know what I know the schedule release is coming out Thursday, so we can talk about that next
the
week.
AFC West is gonna be the worst,
Yeah, I think
in my opinion.
the AFC West.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
I just think, dude,
with
you
Broncos
can't
and
stop the
Raiders?
Chiefs. They're gonna run away with it again.
Okay, but back to the.
Sorry, Brady.
No, you're good. I was trying to collect what you were talking about for a second. The NFC South is just, for me, there's no clear winner, but I also think just like how the NFC East was terrible the year before and we got like an easy schedule, I could see like these teams getting an easier schedule as well, so like it'll make it look a little bit better potentially. But man, like I don't know if I believe in anyone in this division, but someone has to win it, which is why I just went with the Saints, who have the best quarterback in the division at this point. At least that's the unknown for now. Maybe Bryce Young comes out right away slinging. And I feel bad, and I feel like I'm being inconsistent with my rankings with Desmond Ridder at 2, because he's a huge mystery as well. But the same thing. It's the same. Like this division is just crazy. I don't know what to expect. So
Well, listen, actually, I'm gonna change mine real quick. I'm gonna put Panthers at 1, Saints 2, Falcons 3.
All right.
I'm gonna keep it like that,
I'm just gonna believe in Bijan Robinson to be really good for the Falcons. I know Arthur Smith will use him.
and he's
so
gonna win every game for him, right?
he might. Who knows? They might also run someone else as well. He loves to run like 3 running backs, of course. But let's move on to the NFC West. Mine did not. Actually, I guess I changed like
Mine
one.
changed.
Like this is cake-work.
Cakewalk.
Mine
Yeah.
changed.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna be straight up. I mean, bro, it's pretty crazy. People might give me some shit for this.
Yeah, 49ers at 4, don't you?
Yeah. 49ers at 4. We're terrible. No. I have. People might give me shit for this. Cardinals at 4.
No, there's no point of getting shit for that.
Yeah, I had him
You
at
got
4
him at
too.
4?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got
All
them at
right.
4.
So Cardinals at 4.
Rams and Cardinals are interchangeable
Yeah.
for me.
Rams
Hell
at
no.
3. I do think Matt Stafford is gonna come out and honestly.
Go ahead, Jared.
We had hold on. Sorry to cut you off, Alex, but we had this argument last time because Brady was saying Matthew Stafford and them could be 4, but Cooper Kupp's coming back, and Matthew Stafford and him are just gonna go crazy. They're gonna do way better than Cardinals will. They
That's
even have a quarterback.
That's why I changed it as well. I don't know.
Well-
I feel like they're interchangeable though.
Sorry,
but you
Alex.
I
disagree.
mean, they could potentially be interchangeable. I do agree with that, but I do think
Nah.
Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp connection has a couple 1-ups on.
And Higbee too.
Yeah. So And then I think everyone's probably going to be the same. I got Seattle at 2. I do like what Geno Smith did last year. Let's see if he can do it again. Definitely have San Francisco at 1. Even though there's a question where who's going to be the starting quarterback, Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. They have plenty of weapons. The defense is nasty. Potentially going to be number 1 defense again this year. San Francisco at 1. Shout out to Ken. Boom.
Mine's basically the same as yours. I had 49ers 1. We don't know if it'll be Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, or Sam Darnold starting week 1. We shall see. They may trade Trey Lance. I don't think they should do that because Brock Purdy is unknown for the season, at least to start with. Seahawks at 2. Their draft was actually incredible in my opinion, getting Witherspoon and Jackson Smith-Njigba.
That is crazy, dude.
Good draft.
Yeah.
So the one thing I question, like Alex mentioned, can Geno Smith do it again? I definitely worry about that a little bit. I don't even think they drafted a quarterback in this draft, if I'm not mistaken. So they really believe in Geno as their guy. Rams at 3, Cardinals at 4. For the Rams, I just think with Stafford at least being healthy to start the season, and then obviously you're still going to have Cooper Kupp, like Jared said, and they still have a little bit on defense with like Aaron Donald. And, what else do they have? They don't have Ramsey anymore. So I don't even know. Aaron Donald's like the only name I can think on their defense right now that's still there. I was going to say Taylor
Who's their
Rapp.
linebacker? Who's their linebacker? I
Yeah.
can't think of his name. I want to say Flowers, but I don't know if that's right.
Leonard Floyd isn't there
Oh,
anymore.
that's
I
what I
don't
was
think,
thinking
I don't
of.
think he's there anymore either.
That's
Yeah,
what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I don't even know who's on their defense at this point. Holy shit, that's crazy.
They've lost quite a bit on
They've
that
lost
side of the
a
ball.
lot. But I mean, Sean McVay, he's
a good coach.
He's a good coach. So
And Cardinals,
He's a good
I don't
enough
like
coach
a
to do-
lot what they have either. Although
new
I think they have a
coach?
lot of good. Who?
who's your coach now?
It's Jonathan Gannon, Eagles defensive coordinator. So
Okay.
Cardinals, same thing. They have actually a lot to like on their defense. Some pieces. They definitely have
Buda
some
Baker,
holes.
Isaiah,
Their corners are like non-existent. They have Buda Baker, Isaiah Simmons, like you said, Zaven Collins, Jalen Thompson at free safety. So definitely some good pieces on. But the biggest thing is Kyler Murray's availability. We don't know when he'll be back, and obviously there's some questions there with him. So Cardinals and Rams are just kind of in a funk right now. I don't really know what to expect from them. I don't really expect. I feel like this will be. I'm like confident in saying this division will be either won by the Seahawks or the 49ers. I really don't believe in the Rams or the Cardinals whatsoever. And this could not age well by me saying that, but that's just how I feel right now.
We'll find out in about 7-8 months.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before we actually know. But, things – and we'll do this again like before the season starts, which obviously is like months down the line as long as we are still doing this, which I think we will be. But, like – there's just so much time before we can even do this again. So that's what I'm
Only
going
got a couple months. We'll get through it. About 3 months, right?
3 months?
3 or 4 months. It's about to be June. Well,
I
I guess
guess-
it's early May, but June will come quick.
If a lot doesn't change throughout these months, are we going to redo it? Because things are going to resonate different. Because honestly, if things don't really change, and I'm sure something might happen, but
I'm sure there'll be like surprising roster cuts.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a little bit like we can do it like right before the season starts, like right after preseason or something like that.
because right now I'm pretty
I'm solid.
pretty
on
locked
these.
in on like my predictions.
Unless Bryce Young gets cut, then I might have to change
Bryce
the Panthers.
Young.
But
He just get rid of his ass.
overall pick.
Waste the first
But-
pick.
that'd be the only way
We don't
I'd
like
put the
him no
Panthers
more.
number 2.
Bro, they be doing that in Madden. Like they'll literally just cut
the first round pick.
They'll literally just cut the guy they drafted round 1.
Man,
like
that's stupid.
so stupid.
Oh, dude.
Well,
Game
let me
makes
just-
no
I'm
sense.
gonna go ahead and just run through mine real quick, even though I already said it. I have Cardinals 4, Rams 3, Seahawks 2, and 49ers 1.
Same.
Electronic Arts do better, please. That makes no sense, in my opinion. I'm
Come on,
just saying.
Electronic Arts. You're better than that.
I think that's gonna do it for us, though. Unless you guys have anything else to add. Nope.
I don't know. I'm just excited. When does football start? September?
Yeah, September.
Yeah, that's
so
only a couple months, man. Somebody said 8.
well, we got right now. We're like,
I'm counting-
season,
oh.
so you determine, so you know like who won the division. So it's gonna be about 8.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure. I get
June,
what you're saying,
July, August, September.
Yeah,
I
see,
guess
it's gonna fly by, man. I'm telling you.
October.
I hope it does at least.
About December, so about 7-8 months before you know like who's the winner of the
I
division.
thought Alex was saying 7-8 months of the season started.
No,
Hell
no.
Yeah.
They know who wins the division.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Baltimore already have it secured probably within week 2, but yeah.
really
Just
by
kidding.
week
I'm
2.
kidding. I'm good.
Damn.
Knock on wood. But
All right, that's gonna do it. This is In The Slant. We'll see y'all next week. Saying peace.